right, we are back for race number 13 of the Kite Foil League inaugural event here in Northern California, just north of San Francisco. We just had an epic race number 12, race number 11. We're back out on the water here for race number 13 in the final approach to the start here. As you can see, it's quite still a boat favorite end of the line. A lot of kiters lining up, about 25 on the line, lining up for that boat in, and the kites dip and they're off. And it is again, a blue kite winning the boat. That looks to be Johnny Heineken absolutely handling the boat end today, followed by Marcus Edegren on the yellow kite, cruising out just from under him. He's got a tight lane, but a good lane. And it's down at the bottom of your screen there in that blue kite is Neil Marcinelli. So that looks to be that is Will Steer, the first green and gray kite, followed by Daniela Miraz, that second windward green and gray kite. But Daniela looking in a really tight spot as Evan Heffernan on that left blue kite looks to be powering over the top of her with some of that power mode that we know he has. But it's Johnny Heineken out on the right-hand side. Well, not really right-hand side, but cruising up the right-hand side of the course. Cruising up the right hand of this pack. Sorry, I'm all over the place. You can see this streaky wind coming down. It's definitely built up. Some people going down to 11s, even 9-meter kites for this breeze. It's built up almost to 25 knots here. These guys are absolutely flying upwind. And right now, it's a complete drag race. As a kite cuts across your screen there, it's a complete drag race between Johnny Heineken on the right of this pack, Evan Heffernan in the middle, and Will Sear cruising up. These are clearly your 1, 2, 3 here so far in this race, but we've seen some massive lead changes before as Santos Villegas comes out from underneath. He's just ducking them on the orange kite, and Neil Marcinelli in the yellow jersey with the blue kite. Don't get confused. That yellow jersey does not mean he's leading. It's just a coincidence that he happens to be having a yellow number on board, as Daniela Miraz is down there on the left-hand side of your screen chasing them out. She was suffering a bit from cover as Will Sear goes to tack there and decides to cut behind. Both Evan Heffernan goes for another tack and Johnny Heineken. So that looked to be some solid separation there. Johnny Heineken was able to manage as well as Evan Heffernan, so they were able to not allow Will Sear on the leeward there to call for room to tack necessarily. He had to go behind and dock pretty quick, and that is Evan Heffernan, bib number 26, cruising across your screen with that American flag style board there, and Will Sear just to leeward of him, having ducked first, leading out. Evan Heffernan just there, and Johnny Heineken likely probably over the top now, as you see Santos Villegas coming across from the right-hand side on the orange kite there again. Evan Heffernan probably not quite leading, but it's Santos Villegas coming across here on starboard. Massive gains from him as he seemed pretty far behind, but he looks as though he's leading. This is a massively quick beat. What happened to Johnny Heineken here as we come into the mark? He must have had some trouble. It's Santos Villegas in the lead, followed by Marcus Edegren on that yellow kite, absolutely flying downwind. These guys are baked in and cruising. Will Sear in third, followed by Evan Heffernan, and jibing out in probably 5th place. That was Johnny Heineken, so he must have had an issue there. Followed by Neil Marcinelli on that yellow jersey, and this is Santos Villegas going for his first jibe there, cruising through it, pretty casual in here. It gets to be a bit flatter water in towards the land there, but there comes a boat. He might have some waves and some troubles getting through, but he's on a foil, so he's able to power over the top. He looks pretty casual on this downwind as he crosses a tide line there. There's some massive tide differentials, and you can see those weed spots coming out. They seem to be haunting these racers, taking them out of some races. We've had some backflips before, clearing some weeds, people struggling, clipping little reeds throughout their race, affecting their speed. So it's Santos Villegas coming downwind towards the gate. Again, 2-lap race, so they're coming down towards the bottom gate here. Evan Heffernan in second on the yellow kite. Now that looks to be Will Sear on the gray and green kite just in your forescreen there, but cruising in towards the leeward mark, it's Villegas in the lead. Again, he's coming up all the way from La Ventana in Mexico, cruising in here as he goes for a nice and casual jibe, and it's Marcus Edegren trying to get rolling over the top there with potential room here as Evan Heffernan, I believe that is, on the blue kite coming in. This is a nice and tight rounding here. You see super tight. Villegas escaping in the one, and a little bit of trouble there, a little bit of screaming. Oh no, and it's Edegren who goes down. It must have caught his kite there on Evan Heffernan. I'm not exactly sure who looked right away there. It was hard to tell with that depth perception. If only we could get a camera down there right now, but we don't quite have one to replay that for you. I couldn't quite tell who that was, windward, leeward, whether they owed mark room or not. But Marcus Edegren going down in that race, and he is out of that, at least the battle for the lead now. But we've seen worse and bigger comebacks so far. So it's Villegas out here cruising out, course left in the lead. Don't forget Neil Marcinelli hot on their heels. He was far on the other side of the course, who just escaped at the other gate, unfavored gate, but he might be able to do something with it with how tight this pack looks. So it's Villegas coming up here, and Johnny Heineken, cruising just behind him up on starboard here as Villegas goes for a pretty casual attack. He seemed pretty high up there, and he's not able to cross, and he's struggling there. That looked like almost definitely a foul there as Johnny Heineken also goes down. And there's a massive lead change here. Villegas going from the lead, going in high mode into his tack. Absolute disaster. Didn't have speed to carry it through. Takes out Johnny Heineken on the way, who goes for a black flip there to clear his weeds. He must have caught some, and it's a complete lead change. Heffernan into the lead here. Evan Heffernan on that jersey 26. Blue Kite cruising upwind here. American flag board. Absolute patriotism there. Flying into the lead there as the Mexican opens up the door with a mistake, tacking slowly. So it's Villegas dropping and Heffernan taking over the lead with Will Sear, who goes down in the middle of the course now. Oh, he rescues it just barely. It's Sear on the gray kite. He had a bit of struggle there just as he crossed Neil Marcellini in third. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing his Italian root name there as Marcellini comes up in third on that blue kite. There he goes for his tack, getting back towards them. We'll see if Will Sear crashes again like that. It might be Marcellini into second place. This is absolutely tight racing, and that looks to be in the background there. That was, I believe, Johnny Heineken cruising upwind, bib number 6. So now it's Heffernan in the lead with Sear cruising upwind. Sear goes for the tack in the gray and green, cruising onto starboard ley line, and it's Heffernan in the lead coming into Mark 2. Again, 2-lap race. They're on to their final downwind here once they get into Mark 1. So we might have another, I can't quite tell where the mark is. I think they're on the ley line here. Yes, they are. They're coming in to the mark. And there we go. Pan to our other camera we'll go to now. And it's Evan Heffernan leading around mark number 3, followed by Will Sear in second. Absolute massive lead changes there, and it is Neil Marcellini coming out of that right-hand side. He was the dark horse on that beat, able to cruise through, the comeback kid, playing on his own and able to just boat speed over the top, letting other people screw with each other in that pack. Shows how much you can be behind and come back from by. So this is, despite Evan holding this lead right now this far, we've seen way bigger lead changes happen. So Evan's still got to hold all the way down to the finish. It's Heffernan on the blue, Sear on the gray kite, cruising down on this downwind. Sear looks like he's getting a bit deeper here. He's able to hold that low mode with this kite in puffs, and he's able to sometimes scream over the top of people as they cross this tide line. But now crossing that tide line first was Will. It looks like it just pushed him into a bit of a higher mode. He's going to have struggle getting back onto it. Back behind them, it looks like Johnny Heineken back in the race and cruising downwind. He does look to be in about 4th or 5th place. And now on to, that's Daniela Meraz, jersey number 1. Again, kiting world champion for women's kiting, cruising down, U.S. Yachtswoman of the Year, flying down this downwind in these puffs. So she is also right hot on their heels in this race, but it does look as though it's stretched a bit out. Back to the leaders now. Again, Heffernan cruising on this downwind, able to defend here as Sear jibes to match. They're coming across. You can see the gate appear, sorry, not the gate, the left-hand turn mark appearing, that pin end of the start line, the right of those 2 yellow marks, looking at them. That's that turning mark across to the finish. We're reaching across to the finish now just after these jibes. Sear goes for the jibe. We've seen wipeouts from him before. Can he match it? He jibes to the inside, and it's Heffernan just behind. Now Sear overtakes the lead here as Heffernan opens the door going too wide, and Sear, can he hold drilled it to the finish this time. He's crashed before. So did Heffernan. Just 2 races ago, he crashed right at the finish line. He almost lost it. And it's Sear across in the 1 with Heffernan cruising across in the 2. Absolute nail-biter of a race there for everyone. Massive lead changes. Some pretty big wipeouts there, guys, taking each other out all across the course. Massive gains and losses from everyone, and that looks to be Neil Marcellini cruising across in 3rd place in race number 13 here at the Kite Foil League Delta Pro event number 1 in 2021, hosted in Northern California at Sherman Island, just north of San Francisco. Stay tuned for more racing.